Welcome to another video at my two good hands. Today we are talking trailer wheel bearings. We got a rough one. If you listen to it, that's a rough sounding wheel bearing. Maybe it's just out of grease, maybe it's shot. We're going to take it apart. We're going to show you how. Well, the reason we got the floor jack out, jack this up, we want to check the wheel bearing, see if it's smooth and everything. It could just be we overfilled the bearing, buddy. It feels pretty good. Maybe that doesn't sound good though. Oh, doesn't sound real good. We're gonna have to take this apart and check it out. To take this off, first thing we gotta do is knock this off. So we'll pull this rubber piece off. That's where you put the grease fitting in to put it in. But I don't like that rough sound there. That shouldn't be like that. So we're gonna take this apart and see, make sure it's okay. Start by taking this off, nuts under here. I'm just tapping this like this, and you can pull on here. Worked it off. Still sounds rough. Let's get a rag, wipe that off so we can see our nut. Oh, we showed you how to take off the cap. Now we're going to get a pliers, straighten out that cotter pin there, and then take the nut off and slide this assembly apart. So with the needle nose pliers, plan to try to straighten this out. One up. It's getting there, okay. All right, pull this from the other side. Might need a new one of these. Now you want to put your pliers through here, hold it in one hand, and tap with the other to get that out. May or may not need a socket. Nope, don't need a socket. You can see if you look at this nut, that's been damaged before by a wheel bearing issue. Oh, now the whole wheel will come off. As we get the parts loose here, we'll take them and we'll clean them off. Cleaning off the grease here. That's just spacer washers. That's good. Next is the outer bearing. Very helpful to have these when you go to the auto parts store to match them up. If they're shot. This one looks ready for replacement. You look, you can see the rust in there, and you can see the lines on here. They're a little bit shot. We're going to start a pile here. Get new wheel bearings for our trailer. Now we're off. You can see we're off. We've got the shaft here. Shaft looks in good shape. Got to get this bearing out. Easy way to get them out lay your tire down. Make sure you got room on the other side for stuff to come out. Then I'm going to go get a driver and drive that out through the other side. The seal will come with it. This is here, I'm just going to use a socket extension. Let's see what we got here coming out now. Yeah, we're getting it out. Hey, out. But we got a seal there. We can clean that up. We got this bearing, which seems to have a lot of grease, but they're running rough. So we're gonna clean this all out, get the outer races out, and then be able to go to Auto Parts and get them matched up. If they're both the same, we only have to take one. Beautiful. Yep, looks bad here too. Okay, so this one doesn't look much better than that other one. A little bit maybe. Before we go to the Auto Parts, make sure we got grease to repack. This one ain't a lot better, but it is better. Better than that other one. They are the same bearing, so that's good news. And they say on them what they are, so that's even a better news, okay? So this one I can read, so I'll take that one to the Auto Parts. We can see if we can get this seal cleaned up enough. Maybe we can read a name off of that. Sizes, what have you. If not, they can match it up. Might be a name on it, I don't know. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a name on this bearing here on this face. It's very faint. Looks like it says L44649, and it looks like it says BH on one side, and it says National. And we're going to get 4 of them. We're going to get 2 of these, and might be a name and number on this too. So we keep cleaning it. Then we still got to get the outer race out. And we got a number right there. So that should help us out with that at the Auto Parts. Going to go to our local Napa dealer. Because that's the best place to go for this kind of stuff. You can see here the spring on the seal is shot. So that's part of our problem. That's water got in there. Got it rusty. See all the grease packed in there. Bearing buddies will totally load the center when you use them, because that's how they got to fill the whole thing to get the grease to the back side. Don't necessarily have to use bearing buddies. In here you can see how this is all dark. That's why we got all that noise. It's all that darkness you got right there. So what we're going to do is get a long screwdriver, drive those out. They're pretty easy to drive out with a screwdriver usually. Let's go get that and we'll be right back. So I got a good solid blade screwdriver here. You can find a lip. I'll just go in here and kind of beat on this a little. Hey, it's out. So there you go. Wheel bearing is out, the outer one. You have two of them, so you turn it around, do the other side. And it's out, and it went all the way across the other side. We're just going to leave this right here for now, because we're going to try to clean up that whole wheel. But the telltale sign was a grease coming out, that we had a problem. Especially the backside was throwing some too. So there you go. Let's clean up one of these outer races and see if we get a number off of that. And we'll do the other side too while we're at it. And lo and behold, numbers. We got numbers. And we should be good on this too. We should be able to make that out. It's national. It's the other half of the kit, so it shouldn't be a problem for them. We get a bag, put that all in. Obviously, we're going to get 4 bearings and 2 seals. So we'll do the other side too. Now you can see on this outer race, you can see how this one's kind of burned. All right. I'll go get the other one, wipe it off, and show you that one. It's even worse. You can see how rusted up that is. That should be all nice and shiny. We'll show you the new ones when we get them. We're back. Hey, Napa got a bearing set. So here, show you what's in here. Two outer races, perfect like new. 2 different seals. Now we're only going to be using this one because that's the one that's like ours. 2 bearings, like new. We're going to have to go ahead and pack those. We'll show you how to do that. We got a cover we're not going to use because we'll put the bearing buddy back on. And they gave us a new cotter pin. So first thing we're going to have to do here, the seal we're not going to use. The only reason we're not going to use this is see this bore and this bore? See how the big difference is? All right, see this bore and this bore? Same, so that's the right one. Now the first thing you got to do is put outer races in. But the absolute first thing we have to do is clean this bore out. Let's get all the dirt out of here. The first thing you got to do, make sure the open side's out. Goes in like this. You can kind of tap it with a hammer. Go drop it in part way. Take a screwdriver just on the edge. So you can hear that hit. We'll turn that over and do the other side. What we're going to do is work it with a screwdriver, put right on the edge. You'll feel it when you get all the way down. So now, bearing's going to drop in like this, and then the seal's going to go in here. So what we're going to have to do is, first things first, we got to go pack these. So we'll go show you how to pack bearings. So we got marine grease in a tube because we couldn't get a can. It'll work fine. Take some, put it on our fingers, and we're going to work it into the bearing just like this. You can see as I work it in how it kind of comes out the sides. There's little presses you can buy and stuff. I've always said I'm going to get one, and I never seem to get around to that. So go this way. The idea here is to pack all the grease into the bearing as much as you can between that retainer and the bearings, the rollers. I kind of cover the outside, and then you can kind of drop it in there. If you want, you can kind of push some grease in there. When you put your seal in, you want this open side. You see the open side, the flat side up. Kind of lay it lightly in here. Once she's flush, you're good. Get your finger, get some grease on it, and kind of put some grease between the bearing and the seal there. Make sure you get grease on the seal. That way it doesn't get damaged when you go to put it together. There's a little gap in there. If you want, you can put a little extra grease in the gap. As it warms up, she'll move around. So there we go. We can turn this over. The seal will not fall out because the bearing won't fall out because the seal's there. Got the other bearing to do. A little more grease. Same sort of deal here, just kind of try to pack it in there. Let's take this back to the jet ski and get this back on the trailer. We'll be out in the sun over there, so we'll try to get it done quickly, easily. Well, we are ready to put this on. And it's hot out here in the sun. But basically, you want to put it this way. And again, you want to be careful not to wreck that seal, so you kind of want to hold the weight up. And then, let's see what I got there. I kind of had that bearing come loose a little on the front. That's okay. Push this up, hold it with my foot, tap this a little. That can go on there, shaft spacers, the nut. You can just tighten these nuts by hand, turn the tire, slowly turn the nut. Turn the tire, turn the nut. When you get to a point where you're stuck like this, you can't turn it, get a pliers, and notice how quiet it is now. Get that good and tight. You can back that, you can see you got a little play in there, so maybe a little tighter. It's a little too much play. It's probably where them washers were shimmed in there. It's a little more play than we'd like. I usually don't want that much play. So we're gonna have to figure out what we got on the other side. Part of me says I could take this nut back off and go find another spacer. Actually, the bearing seems tight now. I think what it is our shaft's a little worn. That's where the cotter pin goes, right there. So it looks like that's the best we're going to be able to do with this. It seems that we're stuck because the bearing's actually tight. The races are a little loose on the shaft. I'm not sure where the hole is now. There. So tighten it up, back it off that one turn. That's where it goes, right there. Got to make sure when you bend these over, they clear your bearing buddy. So just kind of tap them into place. Looks like that one's good. All right, we'll get a little grease and pack a little extra grease on this side. Then we're going to drive the bearing buddy up. Put some grease up in here. And we won't have to pump that bearing buddy so full later. It's that. You put your bearing buddy back on. Goes like this. And you tap it in the hammer. That's the end of that. Wipe this nice and clean. Yeah, she works pretty good. Put this cover back over for now. Keep the water out of the bearing buddy. That's that side done. We're going to let it down. We'll go see what the other side's like. So there you are. Wheel bearing service on a trailer. Easy to do, all right? Yeah, there's some issues there because somebody's burnt that shaft a little bit. I got no way to tighten it up. You either need to do new spindles or weld on it and grind on it. We're not going to do it. We don't go far. So don't forget, like and subscribe, post notifications on. My two good hands will have another video for you soon. See you then.